In an interview with CNBC, Warren Buffett expressed his desire for many more recessions with a net worth of $110 billion. Why is that? Well, when a recession hits, stock values plummet and all the millionaires and billionaires of the world pay pennies on the dollar for them. Once stock prices start to rise again, the value of their holdings will also rise, making them insanely rich. But that's not the only way the rich use recessions to become richer. Today, we're going to talk about all of the popular ways billionaires benefit from economic downturns to accumulate wealth. Let's dive right in. Warren Buffett purchased a railroad in the middle of the 2009 slump. People thought he was insane, but that was one of the smartest decisions any investor could have made. So why did he buy the railroad knowing nothing was being transported since nobody was buying anything? Well, the thing is, he bought it at a giveaway price because of the recession, and the recession had to end sooner or later. Warren Buffett knew that people would eventually start using railroads after the economy recovered, and when it did, he knew it was going to be worth much more. There's a reason why Buffett is one of history's best investors and a multi-billionaire. In a recession, there's usually a bigger supply of investments than there's a demand for them, so more people are willing to sell their investments than there are buyers. The key takeaway is that if everybody was as smart as Warren Buffett, everybody would be a billionaire. The hard part is finding out whether or not an investment is cheap enough to invest in. For instance, depending on how long the recession lasts, a stock price that drops from $1,000 to $500 in a month could drop even lower to $400, $300, or $100. Knowing when the price has reached its lowest point is usually the hardest. If you buy at $500 but the price drops to $100, you'll have lost a good chunk of your investment. Then there's short selling, an investment or trading strategy that speculates on the decline in a stock or other security's price. Short sellers bet on and profit from a drop in a security's price. This can be contrasted with long-term investors who want the price to go up. This is what Michael Burry did before the 2008 financial crisis. He predicted a decline in the value of mortgage loans after noticing a macroeconomic trend. By buying credit default swaps against subprime loans that he believed to be at risk, he shorted the real estate market. Eventually, Michael Burry's prediction came true. When the housing market collapsed, he made more than $700 million for his hedge fund and a personal profit of $100 million. By the summer of 2008, the financial sector was affected by the chaos caused by the collapse of the housing market. Many well-known companies like Bear Stearns and Lehman Brothers had to close down their offices. Every time they believe a bubble is ready to burst, most billionaires and wealthy investors sell stocks. In a recession, even if millions of people lose their jobs and houses, they will still be pleased as long as their portfolio balance increases. In short, they invest at the bottom of a crash and wait for the economy to bounce back. Warren Buffett said the secret to getting rich on Wall Street is trying to be greedy when others are fearful and being fearful when others are greedy. Good advice, Mr. Buffett, but where do we get millions to invest in the first place? Despite giving up a portion of his income in divorce last year, Amazon founder Jeff Bezos is one of the world's wealthiest men. Jeff Bezos is unlike anyone we've ever encountered because he would be worth over $210 billion if he were still married today. Bezos has increased his wealth by at least $25 billion since the pandemic began, despite being in the spotlight for Amazon warehouse workers' salaries and working conditions. Bezos benefited from the pandemic by providing services when every single store in the US was closed. As people stayed at home in response to the outbreak, Amazon proved to be invaluable. Throughout the pandemic and lockdowns, Amazon's stock rose by a whopping 70%. Elon Musk, the eccentric entrepreneur of Tesla and SpaceX, is the other tech billionaire who grew his fortune during the recession. At the beginning of 2020, Musk was listed as the 35th richest person. But since then, Musk's wealth has quadrupled, making him the richest man in the world with a $237 billion net worth. All things considered, the executives of big tech had the best time of their lives during the pandemic. According to the Bloomberg rankings, 9 of the world's top 15 richest people are American technology entrepreneurs. Almost every tech millionaire gained from the pandemic. Investors usually hold off on buying something during economic downturns and recessions until they think the market has bottomed out. Then they make a few million-dollar investments and wait a few months or years for the economy to recover. In reality, opportunities arise after market crashes, especially for wealthy and savvy investors. You might spend a lot of money on stocks and funds you've been considering at amazing deals, or you could just keep spending the same amount of money each month by buying shares. If millionaires and billionaires acquire stocks or other assets during a recession and sell them for a better price later, they are practically guaranteed to make a lot of money. Plus, since they have the money for it, they could manipulate the market to control which direction the prices go. Millionaires love making money during economic downturns and becoming even richer during economic booms. They've done it before, and many of them will probably do it again for as long as they can. As their neighbors struggle to pay their rent and put food on the table because of rising unemployment rates, they will sit at home and buy the dip. While the average person sees their savings and income fall, they will watch as their portfolio and bank balances increase. The rich truly do get richer as the poor get poorer. Inequality of wealth is increasing. Millionaires and billionaires from all over the world use tax havens to hide their wealth. Of course, a lot of wealthy people don't care about average people like us. The only thing that counts during an economic downturn is that the richest continue to become richer. From the previous quarter of 2021 to the first quarter of 2022, average expenditure fell 7.6%. But this trend appears to be shifting slightly as more people conduct business online. Why? Well, because people took a page out of Jeff Bezos' book, since the demand for online shopping during the pandemic increased Jeff Bezos' fortune by more than 30% to $144 billion. The worst part is that there were an estimated 50 million Americans who lost their jobs and are still struggling to make a living, while billionaires like Bezos make so much money that they were able to afford a vacation to the edge of space. The secret? Well, the secret sauce is a recession. Billionaires always seem to do well during recessions, while almost everyone else struggles to put food on the table for their families. A study by the Institute for Policy Research and Americans for Tax Fairness found that the wealth of American billionaires has increased by more than $400 billion ever since the pandemic devastated world economies. Even though the average worker's pay increased from around $804 to $842, they still struggled because of the high interest rates and recession that caused prices for basic needs to go through the roof. But for the most part, there have been more people looking for work than there are jobs available all over the world. Why do you think people are making TikToks instead of working a 9-to-5? The reason for this is that during recessions, regular people get paid less and have less job security, but high-income workers have a little more security. However, due to the interdependence of economies, even highly paid employees, especially those in the banking industry, lose their jobs during recessions, while billionaires see a rise in their wealth. According to NYU economist Edward Wolf, the rich are always more likely to survive recessions than poor households. And as economist Hilary Hoynes and others have discovered, households that are poor and in debt are far more affected by economic booms and bursts. The winners in every recession are the billionaires and the people who can work from home, maintain their jobs and responsibilities, and have more money to spend on inexpensive micro businesses, stocks, and bonds, as well as maybe a few more affordable properties while they're on sale for pennies on the dollar. That's a wrap for today. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel for more awesome content just like this.